Hi there. So, did you see my picture on my Facebook page? I had this really lovely bowl of fruit salad with some soy yogurt and some chopped nuts and things like that on top. So someone said, I don't know how to make soy yogurt. So I thought, well, how hard can that be? I'll just make a quick video and show you how to do it. One of the important things to remember when you're doing yogurt is you have to keep in mind that you are culturing something. You're trying to grow a specific type of bacteria in whatever sort of milk it is that you're using. So whether it's soy milk or cow's milk or goat's milk or coconut milk or whatever it is, just don't forget that you're actually growing a strain of bacteria. And so therefore, if you're not really a little bit fussy about the cleanliness of the things that you're using, you may end up culturing some not so nice bacteria in there. And it's not a biggie, but you just do need to be a little bit careful. So here we go. We've got a measuring cup, and in this particular batch I'm going to be making half a litre or 2 cups, and don't even ask me what that is in imperial measure. Sorry, you guys in America, I have no clue. So here we go. We're doing 2 cups of soy milk. I'm actually just going to do just a little bit under 2 cups because... So what I'm going to be demonstrating here is what you would do if you're going to make your yogurt on the stovetop. That is, you don't have any fancy gizmos, no appliance, you just want to make it at home. So I've got my stainless steel saucepan and I've got my soy milk. I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to warm it. Now soy milk, like any milk, you need to watch it when it's on the stovetop. You can use a spoon and stir it and all that sort of thing. Soy milk can be a little bit sticky, which is to say that if you're not careful, you can end up that it sticks to the bottom of your saucepan very quickly. So it is good to stir it, and you don't really need to heat it up to a high temperature. Some people would if they were using cow's milk, and that's fine because cow's milk is probably a little bit more prone to bacterial contamination. So what we're going to be doing is heating up the soy milk till it's around about 42, 45 degrees Celsius. And so that's around, I don't know, it's about 100 or 105 Fahrenheit, something like that. So here I've got my thermometer. I can just keep a track of it pretty easily that way. Oh, look. Now, it didn't take long and that temperature has jumped up quite high. So, yeah, do keep an eye on your soy milk. Of course, it doesn't matter at this point in time if it's a little bit too warm. It's climbed up now to around about 52, 54 degrees. So what I'll be doing now is just letting this cool a little bit off the heat before I think about adding any of my culture. And while I'm waiting for that soy milk there to cool down, what I'm going to do is get some of my yogurt culture and mix that with some soy milk and blend it in this cup. The reason I do that, it makes it a little bit easier for me to add my culture to the heated soy milk. I know that some people like to use pre-packaged yogurt culture, powdered things, and that's fine, you can do that if you want to. I prefer to use live culture. It's a little bit more, well, it's not hit and miss by any stretch, but it can depend on the company and the quality of the culture that they use in their product as to what your end product is going to be like. So I have found that this particular brand here in Australia, Yalna Greek yogurt, I really like this as a culture. Works very well. I've tried a couple of other companies' products and I'm not really happy with the result that I get. You'll see when at the end of this whole process how this yogurt turns out. It sets really nicely. So one of the things that you can do is when you're looking at buying a yogurt for a culture is have a look at the ingredients on the side of the pack, and oh my goodness, that's small print. Here, you read it. It's got whole milk, and of course if you're on a lactose free thing, this is obviously not going to be an option for you. You might need to resort to one of those lovely little dried packaged things. So I'm going to be adding a very heaped tablespoon of soy yogurt to this just ordinary room temperature soy milk. A little bit more for good measure. And while I'm mixing that up, I'll just start to check the temperature of the soy milk again. Because it is quite well set, this original starter culture, I like to be able to break it down in some soy milk first. It makes it a lot easier to mix in with that batch. So just get it down so that it's a little bit smooth. This is not rocket science. Don't overcomplicate it by any stretch. But some things that you take the time to do, will make you a better quality yogurt at the end of the whole thing. Oh look, it's down to 45 degrees. That means I can put this in now. Yes! Okay, so now I can just mix that through. It's not going to take very much for you to be able to do that. Let's check the temperature now that I've cooled it down slightly with this culture. So because the temperature has dropped down to just under 40 degrees, I'm actually going to put it back on the stovetop, but I'm not switching the stovetop on. There's enough heat left in this hot plate that I can just slightly warm this again. I could probably also tell just by touching the outside of the saucepan. It's just going to be above body heat, not very hot at all. So now that this has been sitting here on the stovetop for probably 3 or 4 minutes, it's got the temperature up over 40 degrees, so I'm happy with that now. I could leave it here a little bit longer if I wanted to. So the next thing you've got to ask is, how am I going to keep it at a good temperature like this? I better take it off there, it'll get too hot. So if you've got some part of the house that has an ideal temperature, if it's a warm time of the year, of course it's easy, but at cooler times of the year, that's maybe a little bit more challenging. In the past, I have done things like wrapped it up in lots of towels and kept it in a safe place where it can be not disturbed. Of course, these days yogurt makers are quite easy to come by and they're relatively inexpensive too. So I've got mine, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pour this into the jar for my yogurt maker. So from here, of course, it's like, how easy is this? Cultured milk into the jar into the yogurt maker, lid on the yogurt maker, and then we would come back in 4 or 5 hours. It's almost 4 hours since I put that batch into the yogurt maker, so let's have a look. Okay, this has turned out really, really well. So if I bring it up here and show it to you, you'll see that it's actually quite solid. Let's have a look. So that's formed a really great consistency. Now 4 hours is pretty quick, and the main reason for that is because I'd heated up the soy milk and added the culture and got it to that ideal temperature, set it in the yogurt maker, and it's come together really quickly. Now, of course, the whole point with a yogurt maker is to make the process easy for you, so you do not have to do all of that. You can just get your soy milk or what other type of milk it is, add the culture, put it in whatever the jar or the container is, put it in the machine and set it off. And just follow your manufacturer's directions for your individual machine. So typically that might take 6 hours or more. Some machines will take even longer than that. But as you can see also that you can hurry the whole process along if you get the milk to the right temperature first and then put it in your machine, or put it in your saucepan and put it in a warm place and keep it undisturbed so that it can stay at that temperature for as long as possible. So once you've done that, you can put it in the fridge, because this is really warm. So you put it in your fridge, cool it down, and then the next day you'll be right. You can have it with your fruit salad, you can have it with your breakfast, you can use it in cooking. So hey, have fun with your soy yogurt making adventures. Bye!